Hey, have you ever thought about reorganizing your closet? I've got 3 tips for you to get started in your organizing adventure. Hey, world changer, Elaine here. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. Welcome to another installment of my room series. Today we're talking about organizing your closet. As you know, recently I decluttered my bedroom. My goal for that bedroom project was to get all my stuff in my closet. So this really is step 2 of that whole entire experience, and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't just stuffing things into my closet and made things accessible. But I've had moments in the past where I was looking for something but I couldn't get to it because it was buried behind a lot of stuff. Sometimes I just would store things and I would forget that they were there. I end up buying duplicates, spending money, and then later, years down the road, would find I wanted to make a video to give you my top 3 tips on how to organize your closet, just to get you started. This is not an extensive video about all the ways you can organize, but this is just to get you to think about how to collect and give your stuff room to make your closet functional, easily accessible, and efficient. So if you've thought about reorganizing your closet, don't know how to get started, I've got 3 tips for you. So the top 3 tips are, number 1, preparing your storage tools. Number 2, thinking about your storage and organizing with categories in mind. Number 3 is maximizing your closet space. So those are the top 3 tips. So what do you need to start organizing and storing things? I have accumulated boxes over time, and my favorite things to store my stuff in are office boxes, boxes of similar width, as well as those plastic storage containers. I didn't really spend any money with any of the tools. I just use what I already have. Another recommendation that I have is prepare some label makers or a signage tool so that you can mark and label your boxes. I highly recommend using a shipping label. I personally use Post-its. They work really well for me. They do the job. Tip number 2 is about organizing while thinking about their categories. Categories that I recommend organizing with is, number 1, your things that you currently use on a regular basis, things that you need access to on a semi-regular basis, and 3, things that you just want to keep indefinitely but don't really need to access often. These usually are keepsakes or things that you want to have but you don't need. Tip number 3 is about maximizing your closet space. So I'm thinking organizing vertically, using the walls, thinking about creating layers. So that's what I've done in my closet because it's very small and I have less things, but I still have a lot of things. My goal was to make sure that everything is easily visible and accessible, and that when I do create layers, that it's easy for me to move through those layers. So I'll start with visibility. As you can see, the way that I've set up my whole closet is so that at a panoramic glance, I know where everything is and I know what and where things are located. I also use Post-its to help me remember what's in each storage box. I have 2 bonus tips for you. Number 1, the corners are the hardest place to get access to. As you can see on my top corners, filled up those corners with my sister's things. So my sister left a bunch of stuff when she had moved to the East Coast. I don't really need to access her stuff, so I have compartmentalized her things in both corners, and it's worked really well because I didn't have to access those things regularly, really indefinitely. My bonus tip, use a coat rack, and it worked for my closet particularly because I ended up using the shelving with the coats, the bar for the coat rack, and I use that as shelving for my art supplies as well as my bags with stuff in it. It's worked really great to create that depth of storage space by adding another coat rack there. I hang a lot of my tops on that rack and leave the bottom for laundry, and it's added more storage space. I really love that bag idea from Pinterest. Hung my bags, and I put some items in the bags that I use for travel purposes, like pillows. I just have a lot of bags, I guess. So I just store them in other bags. Note, my closet doesn't necessarily look as good as the other minimalist type of closets or the super like fancy fashionable closet. My closet really is more of a practical storage, not meant to look pretty, but functional, easily accessible, and that helps me be efficient and give me access to my belongings. So wasn't that easy? 3 tips to get you started. You know, this practice of organizing really helped me appreciate God's desire for order and peace, and it encourages me to account for the things that I own. I treasure it and I use it for all of its worth and not waste, displace, or create duplicates or not forget the items. Ultimately, it just makes for a peaceful and more efficient closet space, and I'm proud. So I hope this encourages you to organize today, and if you don't want to miss any of my future encouraging videos about the little and big ways that I am doing to positively impact myself and others around me, please subscribe to my channel below.